Hi, this is a quick video to explain the sign related to the proper hand shape. I watched the video that I made for you and I realized there were two hand shapes that I didn't use correctly because I was so busy trying to listen to the music. You're going to have to do the same with me. You have to pay attention to singing, plus make the correct hand shape. So don't make the mistakes I made. Okay? So I want to talk about each line in the poem, okay? So that you have an understanding of how to make that hand shape and the proper signing and the translation. Okay, so the first line, this is the morning that will rise. This is the horizon. So this represents the sun. So when you talk about sunrise, sunset. So I talk about this is the morning that will rise. The sign for sun, sun, so sun in every eye. So that means sun is directed towards me, but it's also directed towards you. So sun in every eye. And to the ancient apple tree, you have tree, sign for tree, and then these little round old hand shape, you just make just tap the branches to show that there's fruit on top of the branches. So to the ancient apple tree. And then the cycles of the moon and keep the tree up here. And the moon, the sign for moon is this. But in some kind of poetic license, I'm putting the moon way up in the sky, and then I'm showing the cycle and how the moon goes around the tree in cycles. That's the poetic convention. And then the effervescent honeybee, that's a tough one to translate, so I decided I was going to do so. Okay, that's for bee. So effervescent honeybee. This means busy, doing things. So you use the sign for this. And you're doing this. Make sure that the backs of your hands are out. You don't want to go like this. That'll be a completely different sign, completely different meaning. You put your backs of your hand to the audience and you're going around in a circle. Okay? And then we have the sign for inform. Inform. So that bee is informing us of the cycles to begin again and again. The sign in ASL is again, but I'm not using it. I'm meaning sticking to the idea of the cycle. Now there's a section there that's not going to be translated. So we're going to go directly to the section that talks about, starts at the line, the sound has stopped. So I'm going to use the sign for noise, has stopped. Now, in the video that I gave you, I separated my fingers. It has to be closed, stopped. And I was too busy listening and trying to figure out what I was hearing, and but it should be stopped, okay? And the heart has not. So I'm using the idea of a heart continuing to beat. Now it'd be really nice if all of you could be doing this at the same time. We'll see. Okay, and then we have the stillness frees the mind, so I'm going to quiet and you meditate. Okay, and time for action. So remember, I'm making a sign different than the one for the bee. The bee was going around like this. Now same sign, except I'm making it in a circle like this. So it's time for action. So it goes around and round coming from me. Okay, so action. And then I'm just trying to find my spot here. Oh, and time for unwrapped. So suppose this is the bed. This is the person on the bed, and they're restless. They're not sleeping. So I want to create that metaphor of being in bed and not sleeping. And then the time for rest will be the same bed imagery, except that now your hand is flat. And this is the cover for your bed. And I was kind of fumbling in that other video, but it should be very clear. You make the sign like this, and you put it underneath, and that means the body is underneath the covers. It's the time for rest. And then I have for rest is needed in the forest. I didn't exactly translate it this way, but I did say that everything's quiet, and the tree, which is the sign for forest. You have many trees, that means it's the forest. Now, the line, the trees grow when the roots are deep. Now, it's a tough one to sign and sing at the same time. So what we're going to do is to show the root. This is your root, and this is your tree. So you can have sort of like a wiggling motion while you're singing. Okay? And now that kind of goes on and on. So you have this wiggling motion, and then it goes into buried inside buried inside trees, heart trembles, something forgotten, and there's a clock. And that clock 5 is the way of showing the heart that actually is part of the root. So now the heart is beating, and then you pull out, and there it is. So then something lost in the shoot. What was it? It was the heart. Okay? Rain comes down, and it is enough. So we have rain, rain, rain. And then you would have the person in the tree, and then you would have the tree growing upward, and the roots going downward. So you should see a motion going up and going down. And then now we start the chorus again. This is the morning that will rise to the sun in every eye, to the ancient apple tree and the cycles of the moon. And the effervescent honeybee tells us to begin again and again. And then your last few bars on that music sheet will have a repetition of different phrases that are taken from the other parts of the poem. So instead of repeating the same thing in the chorus, we decided that we're just going to keep it very simple when you're doing those last few bars. And this is the sun that will rise, and then you start the cycle, we start again, and then this is the morning, you start again. So this is the morning, start, and then we'll sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset. We're not doing Fiddler on the Roof though. Don't worry about that. Thank you, and I hope that this helps in terms of making the correct sign. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.